Hey folks.
Hi.
Okay, so in this role play, we're going to see an example, very specific in a short interaction of what happens when a manager shows up with too much superhero and not enough Yoda. So you know the situation, so we'll just go into it. And we may try it a couple of times and I'll ask you some questions along the way.
Hi Jess, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to give you some feedback. I was looking through the code that you turned in on Friday and there wasn't enough comments within the code, so I just went ahead and I commented on probably like 20 lines of code. So I'm hoping moving forward you can just make those edits yourself.
My code wasn't, I wasn't commenting enough?
Yeah, there just wasn't enough comments, and so I just filled those in, and we just want to make sure that that looks good to ship next week. So I want to make sure product feels like they're ready to go, and so I just filled it in for you. And I'm thinking you can just take a look at those comments so that you can do those next time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what happened? How did you feel as you were delivering that feedback and you were talking with her? What was your internal experience?
Not great. It
Why
felt
not?
very, she seemed to almost back away from me.
Yeah, she physically was
She
like backing away.
physically was backing away, and I just wanted to get the code done and I wanted it to look good. And
So you were feeling urgency, you were feeling that anxiety inside of yourself.
yeah.
And do you feel like that translated, that showed up in the conversation? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm definitely was feeling I'm getting pressure from product and I'm getting pressure from other people. So I want to make sure that not only she looks good, but I look good because she's on my team.
Okay. And I know we're role playing, but you did a good job of really embodying that experience. What was your experience on this side?
I felt like I disappointed my manager.
Okay.
And I also did not really know the expectations. So I didn't know that I had to comment on the code. So I was a little bit, it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I was not ready to receive the feedback because it was like, oh, let me just do this for you. And I don't feel like I'm adding value by having my manager do it for me.
Okay. So definitely not the experience you were wanting to create. So let's try that again and we'll try it a little differently and we'll see what happens.
Hi Jess, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to circle back on the code that you turned in last Friday. How did you feel about what you turned in?
I felt great. I mean, I thought it was what you asked me to do, and was there something wrong with my code?
I just wanted to connect with you for a couple minutes and talk about some areas where you could grow in how you're turning in projects. And so I wanted to ask you, how do you think you could have improved that code?
Okay. So let's pause there. And you see, you tried to go down a certain direction and it still went a little bit off the rails. Do you have a sense of why?
Because she is unsure about the code that she just turned in?
Right.
Yeah.
And what was it about, maybe Jess can help you, what was it about the way you asked the question or made the statement that maybe made her a little bit more defensive?
Was it closed? I don't know.
Oh, so so what you shared with her was roughly, you said, I want to talk with you about the code that you turned in. What was missing was any transparency from you about that there was something about it that was interesting to you. So for example, if you had said to her, hey, I want to talk about the code that you turned in on Friday, there were some things that I saw, but I want us to be able to have kind of an open conversation about it, right? She would be much more likely to engage with you in the conversation rather than immediately feeling defensive, right? Because she doesn't know she knows there's something behind what you're saying, but she doesn't know what it is yet, right? So it's also that she might not have been clear on the expectations. She was initially just reacting to your presentation, right? You want to try it one more time?
Yeah. Hey Jess, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the code that you turned in on Friday. Does now work to chat for 10 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. I noticed a couple of things in the code that I just wanted to talk through with you and have a conversation to make sure that we're aligned moving forward. How did you feel about the code that you turned in?
I felt like it's fine. I mean, I turned it in on time, and it was a little bit about like the guidance that you gave me. I just, yeah, I felt okay. I mean,
Okay, so you see how that closes the gap, right? So when you're bringing a little bit more transparency, your tone was also softer, which it didn't necessarily have to be, but your tone was softer, you were warmer in your presentation, and body language is so important. But it immediately went to a conversation where she felt like she could speak up. And right on the back of that conversation, you would have gotten into a dialogue around what the expectations were and what does it mean to comment in the right way. So just through a few subtle changes in the way you presented and asked the question, you got the same point across, but you got a really different response. Sound good?
yeah,
All right, thank you both.
Thanks.
thank you.